Hey everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we are back to another part of Kaze and the Wild Masks, and we are starting World 3, which I believe is Toxic Tide. And of course, we are going to be moving on with the first one being a water level. Now, most levels that are water levels I'm not particularly a fan of. I feel like the pacing is relatively slow, but I do like how Kaze handles these sorts of things because as a rabbit, you really suck at swimming. So most water levels end up being you becoming the shark mask, and it actually moves relatively fast as water levels go. So yeah, you get the shark mask right out of the gate. It's because majority of this level is underwater, so being a rabbit would be awful because you would rise straight to the surface every single time you try to dive. So through this game, more often than not, I always keep the B button, the one that increases your speed through the water, held down like all the time. Like all the time. I almost never let go of it unless I have to make some tricky maneuvering around some obstacles. So the first bonus stage is not that hard to find. It's just a matter of timing to get to it. And even getting through it is not that difficult either. So having to repeat the stage over and over again due to on my trial run, trying to figure out how how to get through each area, getting through this bonus stage was never really much of an issue for me. Oh yeah, you get to see these little star things. I don't think they show up again until World 4, and they do so in a very interesting and annoying way. But we'll get to that when we get to the level. But the real gimmick of this level, I believe, does not start up until mostly around the midway point. Right now, it's just, honestly, almost your standard level of swimming and dodging obstacles. Oop, I'm taking a little bit of a risk trying to go back for that one, but I want to make sure I have all the crystals, because I didn't actually remember if this had exactly 100 or it had a little extra to work with. Okay, so we are introduced to a very interesting new gimmick here, I think. It's going to be coming up soon. I don't remember where, but it almost feels like it's out of place in this level because it's added really almost at the end of the level. It becomes more prevalent in later stages, where it becomes the entire focus of that stage. Here, it's almost like an afterthought. Here we go. Right here, the ghost fish. The best thing... Oh, I totally missed that. the best thing I can equate this to is like Donkey Kong Country 2, the haunted ride with that ghost pirate chasing you. That's probably the closest thing I can equate this to. And yeah, you have to really bank hard and get into that bonus stage before it reaches you, because it does not stop. And in fact, I think it actually kind of slowly speeds up and will overtake you if you don't make it through all the obstacles on the first go. Now, this particular bonus stage is not too hard. It has a pattern to follow. In fact, there's a more upgraded and difficult version of this bonus stage in World 4. Also a swimming stage, an underwater stage. So yeah, here, just don't stop. If you stop or slow down for even a second, it will catch up and it will hit you and you will fail the challenge. Thank goodness they have some extra gems at the end in case you missed some along the way. But yeah, there's plenty to go around in this stage. Overall, it wasn't terribly hard as a level. Definitely a good one to start off World 3 with. But that's about to change, just like World 2. There's a lot of consistently hard levels back to back, but for some reason I had far less trouble with these stages than I did World 2. That surprised me on the trial run for sure. And then when I recorded this for real, I had a fair number of outtakes, but all that practice on the trial run definitely helped me out. Now, this stage, I definitely had a lot of trouble getting through on my trial runs. There was a lot of death, especially on the zip lines. So when you're on the zip lines, if they're like angled like that, you have no control over the speed and direction of where you're going. Even when you jump to try and work your way back up the zip line, it's a losing battle. And you will slowly make your way down the zip line, even if you're just jumping to get back up going to the left. It's just, you can't do it. The physics of the zip lines are one way only, pretty much. So once you hit one, just hang on for the ride and work your way around the obstacles, jumping and going up and down between several zip lines to avoid things. That's all you can do. Now, the first bonus stage is easy enough if you're really looking for it. Just ride the zip line right on into it. Now, this one, on repeat attempts on my trial runs, this one I got pretty good at, but it can be tricky on when you can drop off a zip line. Because when you drop off a zip line, you've still got that forward momentum going. So you're going to travel ahead slightly a bit down onto the next zip line. And if you don't time it right, you're going to hit a spike ball somewhere along the way down. Okay, that was just a little taste of hopping back and forth between zip lines. They gave you a little preview of what they're going to do at the end of the stage. Okay, now I think this is where... Nope, not yet. Not quite. Oh, did you see that? Both bonus stages are hidden in exactly the same way. Okay, this one is rather interesting. There's not many bonus stages that act like this. I think there's only one other that does, but you have to collect each gem, and as you do, the rest of the bonus stage opens up to you. But you have to collect all the gems first before the rest of the stage opens. And here, you have to slowly make your way down with the rings, and then, of course, get the heck back up before the acid reaches you. Definitely an interesting take on collecting the gems. I like how when you come back from a bonus stage, you almost always end up being perfectly placed to avoid whatever obstacle or enemy is in the local area if you did not get rid of them before reaching the bonus stage. So very nice. Nicely timed that. And here we go, the final section. It's all zip lines. Here's where it's just memorization. There you go. So, one final challenge of zip lines before the end. So if you reach that point, you're so close to the end, and it just sucks when on my trial runs I kept dying to that area because I'm just like, it's right there. The ending is literally right there. Okay, this next stage, Scale Showdown. In the recording, I didn't really have a lot of trouble with it. I ended up having very few outtakes compared to the levels on either side of it. But during the trial run, this probably even got more outtakes, or not outtakes, but failures than even the previous level did. Like, I had even more trouble on this stage. But how I perfected my game was the times when I was trying to do I did the speed runs. You know, when you beat the level once and then the speed run option opens up at the beginning of the stage, I was actually trying to figure out how to go through this fast. And as I was going through it fast, that's kind of how I realized, oh, this is how you can get through certain sections faster and without taking damage. And that helped me out a lot more when it came time to actually filming the 100% run, even though I wasn't planning to go as fast as I did through the whole level. So in this case, practice really did make perfect for the recording. Yeah, although as I was practicing on the speed run, I was not practicing the bonus stages, and so that one actually gave me a lot of trouble when it came time to record. So you kind of have to not go straight up to the gym. You have to do a back and forth bounce to really catch the timing on that one. Not much to say here other than you don't really have to stay on the scales that long to really get them at the height you need. Yeah, it was probably easier to just wait until the banana fired off and then use the Z for it. Now, getting up to this thing is easier in the speed run than it is playing normally because you're still preoccupied with the letter. And so the scales are a little bit out of balance as you try and jump up to the next part. Okay, I probably should have just spun right through that. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Yeah, bonus stage is not too hard to find in this. Okay, this one can be a little tricky. I know I had to practice this a fair number of times in the trial run, but for whatever reason, I actually managed to get it on the first go. Despite the... yeah, the mess up there. Yeah, they do give you just enough time to panic if you start making too many mistakes. I thought I wasn't going to make it there. So definitely a tricky bonus stage all around. Yeah, I wasn't going to take a chance on that one. Now, if you're just like speed running through and you hop from thing to scale to scale to scale, you will make it up there just barely if you don't tip them too far one way or the other. But it is risky, but you can do it for speed. Okay, that was me just checking to make sure, like, do I have 100 gems? Can I finish the level, or do I have to restart? I think I do that a couple more times in the run here because I don't want to have to repeat a level like that. So yeah, a pleasant surprise to get most of that done very quickly and easy compared to my trial run. So we're skipping the bonus stage, which actually is another fun one. And I can't wait to show you this one once I get all the 7 gems. So, Gusty Cliffs. This is a relatively short but kind of brutal stage. There's a little bit of a worse one, I think, in World 4. But you basically have to keep moving. Because there's a tornado chasing you throughout most of the stage. You won't be able to see it unless you slow down, and then it starts coming in from the left side of the screen. So a lot of this is just memorization, and I feel like the Tiger with its double jump, well, not double jump, the dash jump and the wall climb actually ends up being the perfect complement to this sort of level. Because it's just the right amount of panic as you're trying to jump up walls or collecting things down between towards the pits that really sets this stage apart in terms of a previous, other stages that are similar to this in this game. So I like the combination of factors. Now both bonus stages are, I think, past. Yeah, they're past this. So just let that shoot you up into the first bonus stage. So it's one of those classic, the original Donkey Kong Country ones where there's like a little blast barrel just hidden at the bottom of the screen, just out of view. And you just drop right down into it and it shoots you up into a bonus stage. Kind of like a good homage to that. And this is actually a very clever maze, but basically if you go into a counterclockwise sort of pattern, you can make it through. Just kind of go along the edges, then down through the middle, and then back along the edges again to reach the goal. Everything else just sends you back to the start. Yeah, that took some timing, that particular sequence there. Ooh, taking a little bit of a risk for that one, but it's worth it. And you can get back up your ground that you lost there by those enemies. Like when you smack enemies with the Tiger, it seems like you're gaining speed as you go through the multiple enemies. Ooh, speaking of gaining speed, you have to do the special ability here. Yep, you have to do the little dash mechanic. That's the best and easiest way to complete that bonus stage. It's like you were meant to do it that way. So at this point, I just need to make it to the end of the stage. There you go. Easy. So, very short stage overall, but it's definitely not sweet. It's very panic-inducing, but it's good. It breaks up the flow of the other levels around it and everything. So I like how each level has its own pace that you go through. Like scales, you had to slow down and work your way through the scales, you know, to get to the end. And then this stage is like, nope, you just got to go, go, go. So see y'all next time, and stay retro. So the first couple outtakes here are to basically this stupid fish, because I didn't realize when I was going through it that, yeah, you can't stop. You have to keep moving. Actually, I thought I had more outtakes to that one, but yeah, no, I had way more in the trial run, but the rest of the outtakes are to this stage and to the Gusty Wind stage. There's just a lot of things that can trip you up, and that was me totally missing that jump. And yeah, I even made a mistake right at the start here, because I actually pressed the wrong button. I wanted to jump rather than let go of the rope, and I just pressed the wrong button. Muscle memory did not help me in that case. But yeah, this particular one, as I said, it's a little tricky to figure out the timing on how to properly drop off these platforms. And again, make sure you press the jump button and not the drop off button so that you can actually jump over the spikes. Don't press it twice in a row. And I don't know what happened there. I feel like I went too far to the right on that rope and it just dropped me, like kind of how you do when you go too far down on a rope. And here was me kind of getting a little bit like, I don't want to drop off too far to the left, but the indecision got me. So the only outtakes I got on the scale showdown is this bonus stage, this stupid bonus stage trying to figure out the timing. And of course the remainder is on the Gusty Winds stage. Yep, make sure you go for that center of mass on those particular cannons or slingshots. I want to say cannons because I'm still thinking Donkey Kong Country, but they're slingshots here. And this was me figuring out how exactly am I supposed to get that E. And I think my solution is just hit the tomatoes on top of it normally and kind of bounce your way down onto it. Don't use the dash because that'll shoot you past the E and you'll miss it entirely. And that was me not getting the ground pound correct when I tried to pass by that area. That was a terrible miss. Sometimes the hitboxes on these slingshots aren't as ideal as I thought they would be. They're not crisp. And of course, trying to figure out this particular bonus stage was fun.